with the rise of this phenomenon called OnlyFans. I think a lot of men will have to do their due diligence and not be fooled by the modesty switch that you'll see from a lot of women. Because this young lady right here,
No way. Not only do men have to have themselves together, but they have to make sure the people that are following them are in order too. So he has to have eyesight not only for himself, but for everybody else around him. He has to lead everybody else, which means he does have to take his feelings and gobble them so that everybody else can lean on him. And I can't handle that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know God tells us to give people grace, but I find it very peculiar that so many women, when it's time for them to settle down or when they realize that their well might run dry quicker than they expect of milking men for their beauty, they always feint to being modest and this virtuous woman that if you lock it down, you'll be getting something of value. I do wonder why that is. They were rather early on be a Cyndi Lauper girl, like girls just wanna have fun, but they know that the party must come to an end. So they know that most men, especially the men that they desire, it's not gonna want to wife something that already been out here as the town bicycle. Then so they all switch up like a Brittany Renner or that one other OnlyFans stripper girl that admitted that she only tried to be religious because it was a man that she liked and he was a religious man. So I do believe a lot of men, especially if you're marriage minded, you have to do your due diligence and be mindful of the religious switch. That statement that a bad bitch final form is a religious woman is so true. So many of these women switched to being religious after they had a tumultuous past. And I find that crazy. Like, why didn't you start with that? But I guess some people have to touch the stove to know it's hot. And since I'm an inquisitive man, I try to ask myself the right questions to get to the right answers. And I think every man will have to ask himself these questions and figure out the answer for himself. Was this woman religious switch born from a desire to walk more righteous, more upright in the eyes of God? Or is it some form of mating strategy to make men view her in a more favorable light so they will have the desire to marry her, to take care of her, and do all of that necessary? Or was the emotional damage and the spiritual damage she accumulated from dabbling in such a dark world, dealing with such dark demons and dark people, so bad that made her want to switch? Like I said, every man will have to figure out the answers to those questions before he proceed. I think he should ask himself that question and know 100% or at least 80% be sure about what was the motivation that made her switch to become a religious woman.